Hello, all. Good day. This session is all about understanding your Capstone Prep 2 project. Okay. So we all know that the Capstone Prep 2 project is a agile Scrum project where we would concentrate on the Scrum methodologies and the Scrum framework and the what are deliverables that we need to understand in this Scrum. Okay. So guys, basically there is a case study given to you in this question paper, and there are certain questions that are accompanied in this case study. Okay, so basically you need to read the case study and answer these questions. Okay, guys. So here, if you look at this case study, this is basically on Scrum Foods. This is basically on Scrum Foods. It's basically a food delivery application, just like Swiggy. Okay, where the customer would request for food, and the application would take the order, intimate the restaurant owner, and it would deliver the food to your doorstep. So please consider this more like Swiggy. Okay, we have just gave a different name and it is called as Scrum Foods. Okay, so having said that, we will run this application on Scrum framework. That is our motto. So guys, if you look at the first page here, it is nothing but a clear understanding of the whole Scrum process, right? So if you all are aware of the concepts that we have learned in Scrum, basically the Scrum team, right, or the product owner would take all the requirements and they would put all the requirements in a product backlog. So there would be a meeting called as product grooming meeting, where the whole Scrum team with the product owner will sit together and refine the product backlog. Please note, this is also called as product refinement meeting or product grooming meeting. Okay, guys? So please note that this is the meeting that happens. So basically, if you look at this one, it is nothing but the stakeholders who are involved are the Scrum team, who could be the Scrum Master, product owner, and the Scrum developer with the client. So they will all be a part of the grooming session and they will refine the product backlog. Once the product backlog is refined, now another very important note you need to understand is whenever you are refining a product backlog, or when you're refining the requirements, you should always put your product vision into consideration. Your product vision must always be there in the mind of the Scrum team before they take a final decision or they refine the product backlog. Now, once the product backlog is refined, they would create your sprints, or they will be preparing the user stories and they will be working on the user stories. Okay, guys. So basically, once the product backlog is ready, now what do you mean by refining the product backlog? So guys, basically the client would give very high end or the high level requirements, but as a Scrum team, we need to break it down into small user stories and then deliver it to the client. So basically, again, we have another scenario here called as a user story workshop. Basically, in this user story workshop, these user stories would be fixed. Okay, now what is the value statement? What is the acceptance criteria? What kind of business value can we give? Okay, what kind of complexity points can we give? So basically the whole Scrum team, the developers, everybody will sit here and they will sit and discuss, guys. So what kind of user stories must be there and what kind of user stories are prioritized? This session's name itself is called as a user story workshop. Okay, guys. Now, once you have the user story set in the product backlog, they will prioritize the user stories. Now they have refined the user story. They refined the product backlog, right? So now they will prioritize the user stories based on the Moscow technique, MVP, minimum viable product technique, wherein you have high business value and the low complexity points. Based on this, they will prioritize the product backlog, and based on this prioritization only the sprints will be identified, guys. So please understand that whenever you have high importance user stories, they will sit in the first sprint. So basically sprint is nothing but a time boxed event where the team will be working on the user stories. So as a part of the sprint, we have multiple meetings. We all know that we have sprint planning meeting, review meeting, burn down meeting, retrospective meeting, and so on and so forth, right? So as a team delivers and as a team works on the sprint backlog, it will be delivered to the client. So that is the whole diagram. So first we start off with the product grooming. So basically what is product grooming? You just identifying the user stories and identifying the points to be included into the user stories. So whenever you're grooming the product, you will put your product vision into consideration. Okay, so once the product has the backlog has been groomed, then you will prioritize the backlog based on these techniques. Once the product backlog is prioritized, then they will be put into the sprints, and as a part of the sprint we will work on multiple meetings and we will deliver it to the client base. So that is what is the whole image all about. Okay, so now taking it forward, so basically here they have given you a stakeholder list. So who could be the business owner, administrator? They gave you the stakeholder list, and the client here is COPD IT Solutions. Okay, so basically we are creating this application for them, for COPD. Okay, so that is what is a client is called about. So basically here we gave you a template only for your understanding, guys, how a product vision template would look like. This can be useful for your real-time projects. Basically, we have the name of the project, we have the venue, date, start time, end time, duration, we have the stakeholders, we have the Scrum team, and we have all the other information. This is not part of this answer questions though, but definitely helpful for your understanding for the future. Okay, guys? So do not get confused. Now going forward, this is nothing but your product vision extension, more like continuation, guys. So what is the vision of your project? What is who are the target group? What are the needs of this project? What is the product actually? Okay. So Scrum Food will be mobile, tablet, and desk application, right? What makes it desirable and special? Because you get real-time tracking, 24/7 services and customer care support would make it very special. And there's a product feasibility. So like that, you need to fill the information, guys. Okay, that is how you do it in the real-time projects as well. So the first question that we need to answer here is called as your, guys, I'm sorry here. So please note whatever information here it's given is only for your understanding, only for your understanding. Here, there is a sample product vision document given. This is how a product vision document is created in real time. So you have everything. If you note here, the customer, so basically the customer would use these features. Okay, the delivery boy would use these features. So the restaurants would use these features. The regional admin will use these features, and so on and so forth. So it's very useful for you to identify the tasks, the activities, the user stories, and so on and so forth. That is the importance of this sentences that is given here, guys. Okay, then you come to this user story workshop where basically this is how the user stories are written, wherein you have a user story number, the task, priority, the value statement, the business value, complexity points, acceptance criteria. Okay, guys. So in your user story workshop, you create all of these user stories. Then you also add your business value and the complexity point to the user stories. Okay. So just for your understanding, guys, BV stands for business value, CP stands for complexity points. So basically we have multiple techniques with which you can calculate the business value. However, we concentrate on one technique called as Scrum currency nodes, where the team is given the currency nodes, guys, in the denomination of 1,000, 500, 100, 50, 20, and so on and so forth. A user story is put right before the Scrum team or the Scrum team. All the stakeholders will give different values. Then discussion will happen. Then they'll agree on one business value point, and that is the BV value for that user story. Like that, all the user stories will be discussed and the business value point would be added to that user story. It's a very, very important discussion that will happen in regards to the user stories. Okay, about the complexity point, this is basically called as story points as well. So complexity points is nothing but the effort of the developer. How much effort should a developer put in to complete this user story. Again, we have techniques for this, but one of the technique I would like to discuss now is called as poker cards or planning poker. So again, just like your poker game, they will be given certain values like a question mark, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 20, and so on and so forth. So development team will take this to, let's assume the development take 200 points. So they will divide, okay, how many points should this user story have? So basically the complexity point is nothing but how much effort. Like let's assume I am developer 1. I feel I need 5, which means 5 hours. Developer 2 said I need 8, which means 8 hours. Again, there will be discussion and then they will agree on one complexity point. Clear so far, guys? So this is how the complexity points are also fixed for this user story. Okay, so guys, the first question that you have to answer here is about your Agile Manifesto. So basically, you need to ask about the Agile Manifesto. So guys, basically, it's a very straightforward question. Agile Manifesto is nothing but 4 values and 12 principles. Okay, so you need to just take it from our workbook. Just copy the 4 values and 12 principles, and that is the answer, guys. Okay, so do not worry on the that how difficult is that question. Just put the 4 values and 12 principles from our workbook and you can put it there. So the second question is your user stories. So how to write a user story? You can take an example from here. So a user story must have a number, task, priority, value statement, BV value, CP, and a acceptance criteria. So like that, you need to write 40 user stories with their acceptance criteria, with their business value and their complexity points. Now, please note, we expect to write this 40 user stories. Don't consider the ones that is there in the example. Take new user stories. Okay. So how can I get this? Please again refer back to this product vision. See, as a regional admin, I want to log into the system so that I can do something. As a regional admin, I would like to track the status. So like that, you can create these user stories, guys. Okay. So please make sure you don't take these ones that is available, but add more 40 user stories. Trust me, it's a very, very important phase of your learning because real time you're expected to write user stories, guys. Okay, so please write user stories, acceptance criteria, the business value on the complexity points. You can use the same format that is given here in the example and write the user stories. Clear? Then the third question is an epic. Now, what is an epic? So guys, basically an epic is nothing but a bigger user story. So here an epic would have information, like for example, I'll just show you this. So guys, if you look at my screen, let me see if you are able to see my screen. I'm sorry, guys. We're not able to. Okay. If you look at my screen, guys, so basically an epic is a large user story or a collection of related user stories. So like, for example, ratings and reviews. That is one epic. Under these ratings and reviews, you could have probably a text review. That could be one user story. A star review, basically you're just giving stars. Okay, you could probably link to another page. That could be one of. I'm just telling you that you have multiple ways of writing the user stories. Okay, guys. So basically, like this, you can write the user stories, guys. So basically, an epic is nothing but the bigger user stories and how you write them. So basically, for this question, you need to write an epic and just give 2 epics. And please make sure you add the business value and the complexity point. The best way is write a paragraph about what is epic. Take 2 sample epics. And under one epic, you write like, let's assume 5 user stories and write their BV and CP. Again, you can take another epic, write 5 user stories, write their business value and complexity point. Like that, you can do, guys. Okay. So now what is the difference between your business value and complexity point? This is a very straightforward theory question, guys, where I would like to see certain differences between what is the difference between business value and the complexity points, because it is just for 2 marks. You can take two differences, two differences, BVCP, two, like total. For BV, you have two. Okay, guys? Now, the fifth question, I want you to explain about sprint. It's a 5 marks question. So the expectation is that we would want to see, explain what is a sprint. What is a sprint? Who conducts the sprint? What are the important points that you have to include in the sprint, and so on and so forth. Okay, guys? So make sure you put this score also into consideration when you're writing an answer. Here, it's a very straightforward answer. Explain about what you understand about the sprint. Again, whatever you see here is only for theory, guys, which you don't have to worry for now. You will learn about it in the later stages of the nurturing. But for now, please concentrate only on the sprint. Just write the theory element on the sprint. Okay, guys. Next, question number 6 is your product backlog and the sprint backlog. Again, so basically, I want you to again write a paragraph about what is a product backlog, a paragraph about what is a sprint backlog, and explain in your own words. Now, a very important point. Whenever you're writing such theory answers, okay, don't just copy paste from the external source and say this is what is the answer. Try to customize it to your case study. Okay, because when the mentors are evaluating the document, guys, they don't expect to see the theory questions from the third party or from the internet. We would definitely want you to customize the answer according to the case study. Clear so far, guys? Okay. The seventh question is impediments log. So what is an impediment log? Impediment is a blocker. So any blocker that is stopping or pushing your project back is called as an impediment. So basically, whenever you're getting impediment, an impediment log is nothing but a document where you enter your impediments, where you enter your impediments. So you need to explain us, like for example, if you see here, all challenges faced by the team is logged in this impediment log. So like that, you can enter all the impediments here. Okay, and you can also, if you are interested, you can also add the status to it. Give two impediments for a project which is like, no, for Scrum Foods. What could be an impediment? What could block? Like for example, let's assume the government policies could be an impediment because it is stopping or holding our project, right? Once till the government policies is not approved, I can't take it forward. That can be one example of impediment. So please, in this question, please explain what is an impediment, what is an impediment log. Use this template here to create an impediment log, and also give two sample impediments. Okay, hope this question is cleared. For your next question, guys, please note all of this is only for information's sake. Okay, you don't have to worry about it for now. Clear? Now, the next question I would like to talk about is velocity of the team. Now, what is velocity? Basically, velocity is how many complexity points is covered in this sprint. Basically, velocity is calculated by a Scrum Master. Now, what is velocity? The Scrum Master would like to see how many hours can the development team spend on this sprint, right? If you remember, guys, for Scrum, you do not have one sprint running. You will have, sorry, you will have multiple sprints running parallelly. So let's assume the development team spends 8 hours in a day. A developer spends 8 hours in a day, productive time. How many hours can he spend on the sprint one? 4 hours. So like that, every team member will give some hours, right? That combination of these hours is called as velocity. Okay, so please explain the velocity because it's just for 1 mark. You can give 3 or 4 sentences max and explain what is velocity and why do you think, let's assume you gave the velocity for this team is 15 hours. Why? So that kind of an explanation is what we are expecting, guys. Okay, so you need to draw sprint burn down and your product burn down charts. My strong recommendation is please use Jira tool to prepare the sprint burn down and product burn down. The video how to do this about Jira is available in our portal. You can Go there and view the recording, or else you can also attend an weekend awareness session. Whenever Jira session is happening, please join that session to understand how to draw this burn down charts. And alternatively, we also have a recording available in the library section of our COPD portal. If you still find it difficult, please raise a service request wherein she will help you with the concerned link. Okay, guys? So question number 10 talks about your product grooming. So basically, what is product grooming? If you remember, I told you. Product grooming is nothing but you're refining your product backlog. So whatever product backlog you have, you're refining the product backlog, and that is called as product grooming. So please explain what is product grooming in your own words. Again, I'm again reminding you, please do not give us a generic answer. So please make sure you customize the answer using your own words, guys. Please understand all the questions that I have explained so far are the most important questions, and they're frequently asked questions in the interview. Okay, so please answer these questions with utmost care and make sure you customize the answers. Clear? So the question number 11 speaks about what is the role of a Scrum Master. So basically, who is a Scrum Master? Who is a product owner? What are their roles? Because it is a 3 marks question, you give us three differences. Explain the 3 roles of a Scrum Master and 3 roles of a product owner. Okay, guys. Now, what are the meetings conducted in a Scrum project? So, guys, basically in a Scrum project, we have many meetings. One is called as a refinement meeting. I just explained you. Sprint planning, sprint retrospective, sprint review, daily stand-up, right? So we have 4 to 5 meetings. So I want you to explain about these meetings. Guys, please note it is 8 marks answer. So please make sure you give all the details. Like for example, who should attend these meetings? What should be the agenda of these meetings? Okay. How often are they conducted? Right? What is the purpose of this meeting? So make sure you cover these 4 points for every meeting. So let's assume I have a daily stand-up. Under daily stand-up, explain what is daily stand-up meeting. How often is it conducted? Who are the stakeholders to be involved in this meeting? What is the main purpose of this meeting? So make sure you explain that in a very detailed manner. Are we all clear, guys? Okay. Now, please explain also the 13th question talks about the scrum size and a sprint size. Guys, now, basically here, what do you mean by a sprint size? A sprint size is nothing but how or how many user stories are being involved in the sprint, right? Here, when you're talking about the sprint size, okay, when you're talking about the sprint size, I will be concentrating mostly on the number of user stories you will include, okay, clear? And I would also would talk about the length of the sprint. What is the length of the sprint? It should be, if you all notice, 2 to 4 weeks. So mostly please concentrate on those 2 areas. One is called as the duration of the sprint, that is a sprint size. Okay. And what is the number of user stories you're covering in this. Clear so far, guys? That is called as a sprint size. Again, please make sure you write a customized answer here. And whenever talking about customized answer, make sure you, let's assume you're putting 3 weeks for a sprint. Why? That kind of explanation is what we expect in the evaluation. Now, what is a scrum size? Again, the scrum size talks about the team of the scrum. So let's assume the industry says 7 people is an ideal, but it's not possible. Some smaller projects might only have 4 members. Some projects might have 10 members. So basically, you need to say what is the optimal scrum size. Scrum size. So please, you need to explain again what is the scrum size. Let's assume for this project you said 10. Why? So that kind of an answers is what we expect here, guys. Okay. Now, I would also want to understand the 14th question, DOR and DOD. DOR is nothing but definition of ready and DOD is definition of done. Please explain to the mentor in the document what is DOR and DOD. Do not concentrate into the DOR and DOD. because you will do this in the later stages of nurturing. Just give the definition of DOR and DOD in your own words. Okay. Then explain prioritization techniques, which is Moscow and MVP. Because I'm sure you have done this in your waterfall project. So explain what is Moscow with Agile. What is MVP in Agile? Where is it used? How is it used? In which documents is it used? Which meetings do they prioritize? That kind of answers you can write here, guys. The 16th question talks about the difference between business analyst and product owner. Again, in your own words, what is a business analyst role? What is a product owner's role? You can write three differences. And the last question is a sample resume of a product owner. You can download this. Okay. So here as a mentor, we are looking at, do you understand the responsibilities of a product owner? Do you understand what are the roles of a product owner? You just put a sample resume. You can download a sample resume for the external source and you can mention it here, guys. But please be open to justify. Okay. So now, final points I would like to add for this session is, guys, please make sure the mentors are here to help you. You can join the doubt clarification sessions for any kind of queries. Please give your 100% to answer these questions. Okay. And make sure you are using this for your advantage because these are widely asked questions in an interview. Okay. So hope this session was useful to you in answering the questions. Okay. If you have any questions, you can let me know, guys. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.